Good morning, and welcome to Konohonganji's Military Remembrance Service, sponsored by Boy Scouts Troop 59. I am Betty Takeoka, and I will serve as your MC. Today, we honor the brave members of our community who have paid the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. They fought to preserve the values of our democracy, and for that, we owe them deep and boundless gratitude. As a reminder to those of you on Zoom, please be sure to mute your mics during the entire service unless you have a speaking part. For those of you here at the temple, you may chant and sing while remaining masked. Assisting Reverend Blaine at the temple with technical support are Alan Matsumoto, Darren and Lynn Katoyama, Joey Guzman, and Russell Nishihara. Corinne Chong is our organist, and I will lead the singing. Let us start the service by all rising for the Vandana and Tisarana, led by Reverend Blaine. Again, those of you on Zoom, be sure you have muted your mics. Please sing both the Pali and English parts together with Reverend Blaine. Please remain standing for an aspiration, which will be shared by Margaret Masunaga.
In the words of Shantideva, may I become at all times, both now and forever, a protector of those without protection, a guide for those who have lost their way, a ship for those with oceans to cross, a sanctuary for those in danger, a lamp for those in the dark, and a servant for all those in need. As long as living beings exist and sufferings afflict them, may I too abide to dispel the misery of the world. May I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles, and for the boundless multitudes of living beings, May I bring substance and awakening, enduring like the earth and sky, until all beings are freed from sorrow and all are awakened. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Margaret. Please be seated. We will now begin the offering of incense, starting with the roll of honor. As I call each honored name, will the family and relatives please come forward to offer incense? Please use both of the incense burners. From World War II, Shigeo Ashikawa. Toshio Fujii. Kameo Fujitani. Mitsuo Furuuchi. George Ikeda. Shiro Ikeno. Tsuyoshi Iwamoto. Hitoshi Kadooka. Kiyoshi Masunaga. Goro Matsuda. Kiyuichi Matsumoto. Akira Morihara. Muneo Oku, excuse me. Pernell Torrijos. Hisayuki Yano. Yoneo Yonemura. From the Korean War, Raymond Haili. Isamu Izu. Hiroshi Miyazono. Koichi Moriwaki. Clifford Okinaga. Nobuji Yamagata. From the Vietnam War, Rodney Fukunaga. Joseph Gaal Jr. Wayne Hedeman. Aaron K. Hervis. Steve F. Johnson. Momi Kane. John Kauhai Howell. James K. Lindsay. Harold Lannis. John R. Peacock. Keith Puhi. Glenn Shibata. William A. Ulmer, Rodney Yano, from NASA, Ellison Onizuka. If there are any representatives of any veterans organization, we invite you to come forward to offer incense. Now we invite all Sangha members in attendance to please come up and offer incense if you have not done so yet. We will start with the front rows and move towards the back. Again, please use both incense burners. Thank you, everyone. Let us now observe a moment of silent meditation.
Namandab, 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 namandab.
Reverend Blaine will lead us in chanting the sutra Ju Ge, found on page 54 in the Jodo Shinshu service book and on your screen. Again, page 54 in the red service book.
The Buddha of infinite light and life made vows to embrace all beings equally without exception. These vows promise to create a perfect world where no suffering or evil exists and guides us to supreme awakening. The Ju Ge, or verses reaffirming the vows, is a poetic summary of the basic intention of the 48 vows made by me, the Buddha, to attain supreme enlightenment, to save all who are suffering, and to declare universal salvation through the name Namo Amida Butsu. We chant the words of the Buddha from the larger Pure Land Sutra as a reminder of these great vows of compassion made to liberate and awaken all beings. Ju Ge. Gangon cho sengan ishim jono shigan fumanzo seifu joshonga 가오무려고 부이다이세시 부사이쇼빙그 세프조쇼가 가시조부즈도 묘쇼조제포 극교미쇼몬 세프조쇼가 리오그진쇼는 조웨시본교 시금의조도 이쇼텐닝시 진리기엔나이고 부쇼무사이도 쇼조산금요 고사이슈야그난 가이히치엥엔 し根もは閉塞小悪道通達全宗門高僧上満蔵異様量十法日願主寿期天候不言一種解放像公世苦毒法上大主寿世法死死苦用一切部具足主徳本元年出上満徳位三害用両仏無下地通達未不詳願学上理投資最小尊志願や交換大仙の感動国小天人東宇珍妙言ナマンナムナマンナムナマンナムナマンナムナマンナムナマンナムがにしぐのぐ平等性際道本もないしおうじょうあんなこナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダ。
Please rise for the Gatha, evening Gatha, on page 41 in the Praises of the Buddha and on your screen. Again, page 41 in the Gatha book. Shadows o'er the earth are stealing, soon the darkness will descend. Gladly we around thee gather, teacher be seated. Today, we are honored to have as our guest speaker the Honorable Judge Robert D.S. Kim, Chief Judge of the Circuit Court of the 3rd District. Judge Kim graduated from Hilo High School, UH Hilo College, and the University of Hawaii at Manoa, William S. Richardson School of Law. He then worked in the Hawaii State Senate for 5 sessions in the Health and Judiciary Committees. He was in private practice since 1986 until he was appointed as a circuit court judge in November 2017. In 2020, he became chief judge. He is married to Susan Como Kim, and as a result, is related to several members of our Sangha. He has 3 children. Judge Kim was asked to provide a brief bio, and he indeed complied with a very brief bio, as described above. Please give him and his wife Susan a warm welcome.
Welcome, everyone. It is a pleasure to see so many of you turn out to honor and pay respects to those who gave their lives while serving our country. Military remembrance. As long as we remember, they live on. I live above Manago Hotel, and every day, like today, when I drove past Yano Hall, I remember Sergeant Rodney Yano and his sacrifice, being one of 3 Asian Americans to receive the Medal of Honor. Soldiers. Those men and women were ordinary people until they heard the call of duty and answered it. They left their families, their homes, their lives. Not for recognition or fame or honor. We bestow them upon them today. They fought to protect our country, to maintain our way of life. This is a memorial. It's not a veteran's recognition. This day is a day that we pay homage to all of those who served in the military and didn't come home. So now is the time not only to honor those who have fought or are fighting for our freedom, but it's also a time for each of us to take part in protecting it. The defense of freedom is not just for those in the military. Each of us shares that duty and responsibility. We don't have to join the Army or the Navy or any other organization of defense to actively defend our way of life. We can protect our freedom simply by maintaining it here in America and in Hawaii. If we want to preserve our freedoms, we must put them into action. For example, by voting in elections or speaking out against injustice. We must also ensure that everyone feels the benefits of freedom. And we can do that by volunteering in our communities or teaching our children what it really means to be an American. As a judge, which is a privilege and an honor, I tell citizens that appear before me as prospective jurors, there are three things that our government asks of us as citizens. The first is to vote. The second, to serve in the military when asked to protect our country. The third is to serve as a juror when called upon or summoned. Why is that important? Our system of government in the United States of America is based upon citizen participation. Why? Because we trust our citizens to make decisions, not individuals, all of us as a democracy. That is why when you look on the TV and you read the paper, so many people are flocking to our shores, flocking to our shores. Why? Because of the freedoms we enjoyed. But freedom is not free. That's why we're here today. The price that was paid to maintain our freedoms is very high, very high. These are rights and privileges that our men and women fought for. Franklin D. Roosevelt stated, "Those who have long enjoyed such privileges as we enjoy forget in time that men and women have died to win them." In preparing this speech, which I'm going to maintain less than 10 minutes, I found the following reflection stated by Lieutenant Colonel Kempner in an address to the American Legion, and I saw a representative here today, and thank you for coming. I ask that you reflect upon these words. These are the words of a soldier. I am a soldier. I did not choose the time or the place. Convenience is not in my vocabulary. I stand at the ready. When my orders come, I go. I am a soldier. I may not see a child born, a wife, a husband, parents, friends. I may never see them again. But willingly and with conviction, I go. I am a soldier. The job that I am given to do, I will do even if it costs me my life. I will do it. I am a soldier. A car approaches, a bicycle, a cart. I fix my stare and hone my senses. I have but a short time to take action, but I show restraint. It is part of my job. I am a soldier. I repair hospitals, schools, and homes. I help rebuild smiles for people that I've never met before. This too is part of my job. I am a soldier. I gaze at those around me. In a foreign land, I see a child, a wife, a husband, parents, friends. Oh, how I wish I were home. Oh, how I wish they were mine. I am a soldier. Yes, take me home, but only when my job is done. Only when my job is done. I am a soldier. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Kim, for reminding us that truly freedom is not free. And we thank those who have made the ultimate sacrifice so that we can continue to live in this democratic society. Mimi Bergstrom will now lead us in unison reading of the Eightfold Path to Happiness, which can be found on the handouts and on your screen. Please read the passage out loud along with Mimi.
The teachings of the Buddha help us to understand the oneness of all life, to lead us in the right direction. The Buddha provides us with the Eightfold Path, right views, to keep free of prejudice and superstition, to see the true nature of life, right thoughts, to turn our minds away from violence and hatred, right speech, to refrain from harmful talk and use our words wisely, right conduct, to see that our deeds come from peace and goodwill, to grow every day in the Buddha's teachings, right livelihood, to try to earn our living in such a way that we avoid causing suffering, right energy, to use our energies to promote the overcoming of ignorance and destructive desires, right mindfulness, to cherish a good mind, for all that we think and do has its roots in the mind. Right meditation, to study the teachings of Buddha and to practice them to the best of our abilities. May the presence of the Buddha, who said that he would live in his teachings, be our guide. May we follow this path until we too realize nirvana.
Thank you, Mimi. We will now have the offertory presentation. Please stand as we conclude this service with singing of the Gatha Nembutsu.
Namandab, 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 namandab.
Please be seated. This concludes today's military remembrance service. Let us never forget those who gave their lives so that we can continue to live in a democratic society. Before you leave, here are some announcements. Upcoming schedule of online services and events. Reverend Blaine sent out a Konohonganji weekly update email on Friday, June 10th. Please check your email and be sure to read it for upcoming services, useful information, reminders, and interesting virtual links for a variety of topics, including but not limited to online Buddhist education events, as well as information on COVID-19 testing and vaccination. Please pay particular attention to the Hawaii Kyodang's statement on gun violence. Also, thanks to Darren Katayama, Kono Honganji recently launched our YouTube channel, and you can find the link in Reverend Blaine's email. Our next hybrid service will be Father's Day service, which will be held next Sunday, June 19 at 10 o'clock a.m. We will have some surprise guest speakers, so please join us. Our first service in July will be the annual Obong Cemetery service on July 3, which will be held outdoors up at the church cemetery at 10 o'clock a.m. Please mark your calendars and plan to join us for that service. Reminders, bags of frozen chili are still available. Also, 125th anniversary merchandise items of cookbooks, clocks, and insulated grocery bags are available for sale. You may purchase them today or anytime by calling or stopping by the church office. Lastly, thanks to the efforts of our Kyodang President Linda Nagai, we will be distributing free COVID test kits today. If you are interested, please pick up a box limited to one per person at the table located outside the Kohala exit of the temple. Are there any other announcements, Reverend Blaine or anyone else?
Thank you, Betty. Thank you, Judge Kim. Wonderful message. And to all of the families of our soldiers that sacrificed and gave us freedom today, thank you for joining us here. What I wanted to, did you enjoy Judge Kim's message today in the service? Wasn't it neat? Were you comfortable? Okay, I think you're comfortable if you haven't noticed it. Our new pew cushions are here. You're sitting on new cushions we installed yesterday. Okay, you're right. Nobody noticed. Reverend Blaine says no one's gonna notice. Okay, and listen to a wonderful talk, comfortable surroundings, wonderful people, friends. This is awesome, awesome Sunday. And this wouldn't have happened without the generosity of our Sangha members. This pew cushion is the first of what's coming of our 125th anniversary celebration. So the donations that are coming for the celebration, this is the first. The next time you walk in here one day, maybe sometime in August, you will see something else. A couple of things changed. So we're kind of making it. So you need to come. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you'll see all your efforts of your donations will come to fruition very, very soon. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sangha members that are listening, for your generous donations. You have to come to temple now to sit on these cushions. They're very comfortable.
Thank you, Linda, and thank you everybody for being here and for joining us at our military remembrance service. Every time we hold this service, I'm reminded of the path of the Bodhisattva, right? Each of us on this journey in Buddhism, we're living the life of a Bodhisattva, the life of an enlightened being who gives up their own enlightenment for the welfare of others. The sacrifice, the service, that is the core, that is the heart of the path that we share to serve each other, to live well, and to make this community better. It is in that spirit, right, that spirit of sacrifice, that spirit of service, and the values of freedom that, like Betty mentioned, the Hompo Honganji Mission of Hawaii recently issued a statement regarding gun violence. We've all been shocked and horrified by the recent killings, mass killings of children in schools, of people in shopping centers. And so part of our path like Judge Kim mentioned, is to speak out, is to offer our voice and to offer our values, to say, no, this is not okay, this is not right. And so if you haven't had the chance to read the statement, this is the statement that was issued. We mourn the innocent lives lost in yet another mass shooting in our country. Our hearts go out to the families and communities that have been torn apart by these senseless acts of violence. Gun violence is an uncontrolled plague on our society and the cause of so much suffering. The recent shocking events in Texas, New York, and California remind us how much damage can be caused when these weapons are so easily obtained by those who would use them to harm others. Gun violence is an unresolved public health crisis in our country. The proliferation of guns in our streets and our culture of violence needs to be addressed. We can and must do better to make our homes and public spaces, including schools, churches, and stores, where a large number of people regularly gather, safer. We call upon our national leaders to have an honest and respectful debate on reasonable policies to curb gun violence. We need to enact sensible regulations to save lives and make our communities safer. Such measures include a ban on assault weapons, universal background checks on all gun purchases, removing loopholes that allow gun sellers and buyers to bypass checks, prohibiting high-capacity magazines, preventing gun trafficking, and improving access to quality mental health care. In addition to immediately pursuing sensible gun regulations as a key element of addressing gun violence in our country, we also need to cultivate the conditions for transforming anger and hatred, which are the causes of these violent acts, including the usage of language of violence. Changing our hearts and minds is essential to transforming our society. The Buddha taught how conflict can be resolved through wisdom and compassion. Let us be guided by this teaching to mend our brokenness and to heal our wounds on the journey to mutual peace, harmony, and respect for all. May the light of all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion guide all our thoughts, words, and actions. In Gasho, Bishop Eric Matsumoto, Hompo Honganji Mission of Hawaii, and Reverend Blaine Higa, Chair, Hompo Honganji Mission of Hawaii Committee on Social Concerns. And on a lighter note, you may have all received this flyer. Please check it out. This is a wonderful opportunity to learn about the history of our amazing sanghas here in America. Dr. Scott Mitchell was one of my dean at the Institute of Buddhist Studies, the seminary that I attended, and he will be here in Hawaii offering lectures. So there's two opportunities. One is the online lectures, which is the BSc Buddhist Studies Center summer session, which happens for 5 days in the evening, so you can just join online. And then we also have an opportunity to have him here in person at Kono Honganji on Sunday, June 26th from 5 to 6:30. He'll be here joining us in person, so please come or please register to come and plan to attend the seminar. So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Reverend Blaine. Again, mahalo to our guest speaker, Judge Robert Kim. Those of you on Zoom, you may stay on for a short talk story time with anyone, one person at a time, by unmuting your mic during the virtual fellowship time. If you are ready to leave, just tap or click on the Leave Meeting button on your screen. Those of you here in person, refreshments will be served in the conference room. Thank you to members of the Boy Scout Troop 59, Margaret Masunaga, Lisa Siriaco, and anyone else who has brought some refreshments. We are grateful that you all joined us today and look forward to seeing you at our Father's Day service next Sunday. Please stay safe and take care. Thank you.